Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400. Now this has 1400 horsepower, 1832 pounds-feet of torque from its 7 electric motors, 3 in the front, 4 in the rear, and it weighs 4,363 pounds, and it comes with its original all-wheel drive system, but it now has off-road and wider tyres and off-road suspension. And the car itself can now do 0 to 60 in 2.857 seconds, 0 to 100 in 4.910 seconds, and gone to a top speed of 157 miles an hour. So yeah, that's not the fastest top speed by any means, and we've hardly got the best handling that we've seen on a vehicle in this series, but the acceleration, launch, braking and off-road capability are all solid, and even though the handling isn't the best that we've seen, it's hardly the worst either. We had 2.9 I think on the handling rating there for one of the previous vehicles. I think it was the Porsche Macan LPR Rally Raid. Yeah, we've definitely seen worse in terms of handling, but I feel like this, with its still having its original horsepower and having plenty of downforce, as at its top speed you're having apparently more than 2,000 pounds in downforce, so yeah, I'm fairly confident in the handling will handle it. It's all about whether or not the power delivery is going to be good enough, which it certainly seems to be. Yeah, this is quite a drift kind of vehicle, to be honest. It's kind of set up for that kind of thing in some ways, which is why you can switch it to rear wheel drive, but we're not going to do that today, because not only would that be unfair to its vehicle, with every other car being all-wheel drive on this series, but the car is slower in rear-wheel drive only mode because it shuts down the 3 motors at the front, and it's also way worse in terms of handling, especially when dealing with the rough stuff. So yeah, I'm never going to switch it to rear-wheel drive, not for this kind of thing anyway. Yeah, it's dealing with everything's okay so far, so I do actually have high expectations for this. Yeah, this is only the second ever Ford that we've had on this series, with the Ford Bronco being the only other one, which put in a respectable time. I think it's all the quickest set we've had. Obviously the big advantage with this being electric is that the torque and power is pretty much instantly there. There's no lag from turbochargers, and there's no chance of the engine getting bogged down. Being electric, it's instantaneous in its delivery. It is still a little bit weighty, even with the weight reduction I'm giving it. Just dropped it by a few £100, but yeah, still quite the heavy car, and easily one of the heaviest that we've had on this series so far. Most cars have been below £4,000, but most cars don't have this level of power or torque. This is easily the torquiest car that we've had on this series so far. Well, unlike the other electric vehicles that we've had on this series, it's not the lightest by any means. But with it having so much bulk to it, it's able to plough through any road furniture, thankfully. Yeah, we're going to have to rewind that. It's easily the noise, and we'll have to do twice as well, so we've only got one left, but yeah, this is easily the noisiest electric car that we've ever had as well. Normally they're quite subtle with their noises, but with this it's really rather quite high-pitched. But I think that's because they're using a new type of electric motor that is actually quite small. Well, that's the new fastest car on this series, by a long way as well. 3 minutes 21.185 puts it more than 2 seconds ahead of the Hilux AT38 from Toyota. And yeah, getting on for just under 3 seconds quicker than the DeLorean DMC-12. And it's far faster than the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, MG MG3 and the GMC Jimmy, which now gets knocked out of the top 5. And the Mazda 323 GTR has been knocked out of the top 10. So yeah, that is a mightily impressive car. We weren't perfect either on that run, but obviously I don't rerun vehicles on this series because it wouldn't be fair. But yeah, that is still an incredible time, and yeah, you can tell it was quick just by how instantaneous it was in terms of its power delivery. It was getting up to well above 100 mile an hour most of the time, and yeah, the handling was pretty damn good as well. It was quite agile as well for such a heavy vehicle. So yeah, massively impressive car. And yeah, this is a vehicle, like I said, that is more kind of drift centric more than anything, so for it to be not only quick on this series but also deal with the off-road elements really nicely is yeah, a big surprise. But I did have high expectations for it, and it has more than met them. So yeah, really glad it's done as well as it has though, because that Hilux has been at the top of the leaderboard for a long time, and yeah, it's finally been dethroned. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what can beat this, if anything. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.